and working it over and directing that section over towards the crown and just softening that line to ensure the blend. I'm really enjoying the response now of this shape. It's really working. The shape is working. Now we're going in for some refinement of detail, just making sure we have the lines soft, therefore not necessarily straight or interconnecting, but that the response will be one that the client can manage and the shape will really look right. Now we're very smooth on the crown, so I'm picking up the razor. Here we have an open bladed razor which is made by Horst & Friends International. It has no guard on it, so it has more versatility, and I'm coming into the crown, and because the hair is so straight, what I want to do here is increase the texture in the hair. So I'm coming in with the razor and working on a downward movement as though backcombing with a comb, but cutting into the section. What I'm doing is I'm tapering out the length. I'm not removing the length. All I'm doing is just cutting against the cuticle, producing a little bit more texture into the hair on the undersides of the sections to give us that softer, looser, 80s feeling in hair, so the client can really feel like a hair has a lot of volume and a lot of space between the texture. When cutting with ordinary shears, we find ourselves cutting the fiber, that being the hair. When cutting with blending shears, we find ourselves, or with the razor, we find what we're doing is we're increasing the space between the fiber, and that is what's called as volume. It's expanding the amount of space in between the hair. This, of course, when finished, will not look so heavily textured, because we're going to comb that out. But we're just working through, we're not combing it out section by section, so that we can ensure that the texturization is an even blend throughout. So we go through and we cut each section like this, wherever we feel we need to make the hair more airy. The pressure that's applied is very gentle. It does depend on the sharpness of the blade. The newer the blade, the lighter the pressure we apply. You can see the hair being removed. Not a lot of hair being removed, but this really is a very exciting technique and has really increased the dimension of volume for us in our shapes. Now I'm working through the front and not cutting the length of the front, but connecting the front to the crown and just graduating nicely underneath the hairline, this giving the bang area just a little bit of volume. Although finishing this head of hair, the hair will look a bit smoother, one can see the possibilities that this texturization system can give for many different shapes and styles. This is a technique developed by Horst & Friends International to help us increase our ability to create new texture and therefore new services in finish for our clients. Now we can straight away see, even while the hair is still wet, that interesting airy texture that it's given the hair. And yet the length is there, we still have the weight, and a very nice blending texture. into the crown and the back. Now I'm coming in through the front, and what I want to do now is to blend the weight of the front section into the side. So I'm graduating through from the shorter side section and producing a little softness in the front, working into that side section. Again, by utilization of the soft shear and the razor, we're using our combination cutting system that is utilizing more than one tool to achieve a desired look. For every tool, there's a different response in hair. Very important to have a good range of tools and equipment for styling these days. Coming through and just connecting with some soft razoring through the front. So with our outside lines being soft, we're not just left with this very heavy clump of hair. We're softening it out, but still maintaining the length. Incredible amount of volume. Combing a little bit through on the crown here, just increasing that texture a little bit more, just to get the right balance. Now we can see the response. Soft and interesting. Many variations of drying this, of course. Here we can see that we can almost just leave this from the way that it's responding. Just testing how much air there is between the fiber, making sure that the shape will work in whatever direction the hair is pushed. Just checking over in the mirror, making sure that our image is reflecting in the way that we saw it originally. Again, working identically, seeing the shape before we start. Now I'm getting the blending shear. This is the blending shear on its own. Just to putting a little bit more finishing, taking a little bit more weight off the very ends. With the razoring, you notice we're working more into the mid lengths. Now we're cutting onto the ends. The reason for using both of those tools is because the razor encourages movement. In other words, the razor will give us more wave or will increase more curl in soft perms, and the blending shear reduces the amount of movement. So I razored the shape first to encourage more movement from the base root area to get us a lift, and now I'm working through the ends to decrease any wave movement on the ends so the shape can still stay straight and smooth.